What's up, all you rock stars? Wow, it's a beautiful day out here. So we got to the first. Things happen, right? Fire put her outer. So I get to the first quote. I almost get to the first quote. Patty's calling me because the Honda's down right now. I had the Honda in keys in my van, which has the Recovery Network's key on it, so she couldn't get in. Thank God they do a AA group there every Sunday, and they were able to let her in until I arrived. And then I went there and helped her and Nikki. And then I had another quote lined up, and something happened. They had an appointment they got to do, and they canceled that. So I'm going to go help the girls out here at Mid-Michigan's office. So that'll be fun. But what a beautiful day, man. I'm almost thinking about taking the bike out. Woo-hoo-hoo. That would be fun. However, there's probably still a lot of salt on the road, and I'm not that super picky about if my bike gets a little salt on. Like, I know some people are like, oh, that's how your parts go to shit or whatever. But you don't really. You just fix it. I mean, a frame, yeah, you can't really fix a rotted out frame, but tomorrow's supposed to be even better. What? Hello, Michigan. Welcome to my life, sunshine. I hope you guys are all enjoying your beautiful day. I'm drinking a little bit of coffee. So, I went to the doctor's a while back ago, got all my blood work done. I wasn't feeling the greatest. Got all my blood work done, and they said my uric acid levels are high. We eat a lot of fast food, unfortunately. And she said by what they put in the processed food, that is what's causing that. So, because they want to make a loaf of bread last for a month instead of a couple weeks, or a gallon of milk last for a month instead of a week, they want to put poison in there so we get sick. That's what it is. It's poison to the human body. I'm not saying it's poison, like something that's going to get you overnight. But if you don't know, high uric acid levels can cause gout, which is very uncomfortable, very painful, and not cool. And she was telling me that the numbers of high uric acid levels are increasing because of all the processed food. But what she did tell me is coffee fights against it. So drink more coffee. So here I am drinking coffee. Man, this is a beautiful day. I love it. So yeah, I'm kind of against that, you know. We know some people that come over here with visas and work and all that good stuff. And I said, so what's one of the things that you would want different in the United States, per se, if you could change it? And the very first thing they said, they didn't even hesitate to think on it. They said the food. It's unfortunate. I know it's a topic a lot of people don't want to hear, but our food in the United States is terrible for us. Hence the reason we have the most obese nation there is. All these chemicals and things they're adding into our food are making us sick. And we don't come together and force them to stop it. Why? Why don't we force the system to change the ingredients in our food so we don't get sick, obese, and die from the food intake that we're getting in the United States? That is like, so they're poisoning. Okay, so think outside of yourself. They're getting our children. This is going to make our children sick. Unbelievable. Listen, this ain't coming out of my rabbit hole thinking and so on and so forth, whatever you might call it. This is coming from my reputable doctor. Straight out her mouth. Oh yeah, your uric acid level. What's your eating habit? I said, well, I go, honestly, with the business, most times I eat lunch, fast food. She says, there you go. All that processed food. All the stuff they put in that processed food is exactly why your uric acid levels are increasing. Now, can that be controlled by changing my diet? Absolutely. But what do you know and don't know is processed or not processed in the grocery store you go into? You don't know. Because we don't know if the labels are actually accurate. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. I think if we should fight for anything, we should be fighting to overlook our differences, for one, but we also should be fighting to stop giving us food that is poisonous to our body. Some of you guys think, oh, that's crazy, food ain't poison. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The chemicals they put in the food to make the ingredients last and preserve longer is detrimental to the human body. It is poison. And your kid's eating it. Even if you're feeding your kid as an infant from those little powdered milks and stuff you make your little drinks out of. Same thing. I have zero clue why we don't get together at least on it. We can disagree with everything, but our food we're consuming in our body, a lot of the food that's in the United States is banned from other countries. They will not even allow it in other countries. Canada, I believe, is one of them. I could be wrong. I'm not that great with my demographics on what countries have banned it, but I know I've read enough articles on it. I've done enough research, not Google, that I know there's a lot of states or a lot of countries that will not allow American food in their country. That's telling you something right there, man. And then I just read something where they're trying to ban hunting like deer, squirrel, rabbits, and fishing in one state. Why would they do that? That is probably the most unprocessed meat. Unless they're putting stuff in, well, they're eating the corn out of the fields that they spray tons and tons and tons of chemicals on, so God knows they're probably poisoned as well. We don't know. But they're banning hunting. I don't remember if it's Idaho, somewhere it was. Okay, and I don't know all the stipulations behind that, but me and you do not know if we're eating healthy food unless we go straight to the butcher that butchered that cow and knows exactly who fed that cow and what they fed it. If you ain't did that, you don't know if you're eating healthy meat for you. I don't care what the package on the label says. I don't care. FDA approved. That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. FDA packaged in the United States. You don't know where that meat come from either. There's been plenty of topics about this. You don't know where that it just says packaged in the United States. They could have got that from Somalia or anywhere else, and it was just butchered here and packaged here. Or it's already butchered and they just packed. You don't even know where the hell we're getting our meat from. We have no clue. Like I said, unless you live on a cattle farm and you are eating the cattle that you have raised and you have fed. We can do all the fighting and the bickering and all the stuff we want to do because our disagreements and opinions. I made a video on that earlier. Go check it out on YouTube or right here on Facebook. But the truth is the quality of the food in this country is garbage. It is poisonous to our body. Hence the reason so many people are on medications on medications for all different kinds of things. It's being caused by the food we are digesting. A lot of it. I don't know how we're not in an uproar about that. We're just like, whoa, whatever. We'll just keep going to Dollar General and buy the cheapest meat we can, so we can. Because that, I understand it, so we can afford. But we could all rise together and make that change. Yet here we don't. Just trying to bring a little awareness of what my doctor told me. Yes, I can change my diet. and I can stop fast food completely. Yes, I'm in control of that. But even the stuff you're buying in the stores, highly processed food. So everything that's in the freezer section isn't even really food. It's a very little minute amount of actual food. God knows what else it is. Ramen noodles on your shelf. You ever watch the videos on how ramen noodles are made and what they're made of? You'll probably not. I won't. Patty she keeps going and buying them. I won't even touch another ramen noodle again unless it's real ramen. That's it. The stuff you go into Walmart and Meijer, buy this little pack, it says ramen noodle. No way. No way will I ever eat another one of them. And I used to live off them things for years. The whole thing is, why do we in this country tolerate them? Why are we so tolerable of these people that take all our money and taxes, do whatever they want to do with it, and then poison our food so we're sick and ill and have to go to the hospital? We have one of the sickest nations there are. It's unbelievable to me. They say, we got the best medical industry in the world. Yeah, because you're making everybody sick. Whatever. I'm not going to beat the rabbit hole to death. But the truth is that's coming out of a doctor's mouth from her years of experience, not mine. And when your doctor's telling you that, they have no reason to lie to you. And I'm not going to tell you who my doctor is. That's not even important. But the truth is, that's sad. And I don't think it's just our food. Another one makes you very ill. And here I am drinking one a day. You know, I know people say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're this, you're that, you're this. Yeah, but when I get factual evidence from people that are in the industry, I no longer believe that is a conspiracy theory. Okay? Not everything's a freaking conspiracy theory. Have I shot out there some pretty good do I have some conspiracies in my mind that I can't base it off facts? Yeah. I have some ideas and opinions of what's really going on in this world, just like you do. I know you do too, because you're not dumb, you're not an idiot. You've lived long enough to where you see what I see and other people see, yet they tell you on the channels that you didn't see that. Like we're all, I think they think we're stupid, but we're not. We're not stupid. I don't know, man. I just feel like we need to come together as a nation to become a healthy nation. Not only a healthy nation in our culture, but in our food intake, our water, our beverages, our children. For Christ's sakes, our children, ladies and gentlemen. Lord, forgive me, but seriously. It's insane to me. It's insane to me. I would like to see an experiment done. This is going to blow people away, and maybe it'll make you not like me, but I would like to see a child born and get absolutely no injections and see what happens in 10 years. I have a belief in my mind. I bet that child would be perfectly healthy. Perfectly. That is a conspiracy theory, because I don't know. I was born and they gave me the shots, so I don't know. But they sure are giving out a whole lot more of those shots these days. You know, we're living in a sad time where I can almost bet you I could do a poll on this video, and I bet you about 75 to 80% of the people that watch my content or view this video would say that they do not fully trust in the system anymore. That is when we need to come together as a collective team and change that. And I'm not saying with violence. There's ways to do it without it. If we get loud enough, things will change, trust me. I love you guys. You know, I think people think I really like to talk about stuff like this, but here's the truth. I don't. But I feel like somebody has to. Somebody has to talk about this stuff, bring awareness to it, so other people don't think they're only their thoughts, they're only thinking this way, or, oh, I thought I was the only crazy one, whatever you might say. I would much rather talk about it being a beautiful day, and optimism, and everything flowing around us in life is so beautiful. I would much rather talk about that, talk about building ourselves up, self-development, things of that nature, because I really feed off into self-development, and I think it's amazing how one can jack their entire life up and turn it all the way around in one lifetime. I think that's a beautiful thing. But the truth is right now I can't. I try to squeeze that in from time to time because of the corruption that is going on in our system. People need to use their voice. People need to talk about it and stop turning the other cheek. Turning the other cheek is what got us here. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and create violence. I'm not telling you that. You can stand up. We can stand up together and push back without creating violence and burning cities down. We're better than that. We don't have to do that. There's ways to do it. And one is to start communicating with people on an unbiased level. What I mean by that is, who cares what their belief is? What is important to them in life? Are they for humankind or are they not? I don't care if they believe in left or right, Christian or Muslim. I don't care if they're white or black or bright. None of that matters. Do they believe in humanity? And if they do, listen to them. Communicate with them. Relate with them if you can. So we can start coming together. Because if not, I feel bad for our children. I feel bad for our grandkids. Because it is not going to be a pretty area. It's not going to be what we once knew this country was. Our food. You know, my grandpa used to once tell me, my grandpa was in World War II. And the reason I know his stories were true is because he was getting dementia. He was forgetting everything. But one thing he didn't forget is the 3 hours of stories he would tell me about Vietnam and everywhere else, right? All the stories he would tell me about war, they never changed. Not once. Never. The names were the same. The situation and the circumstances were the same. Everything was the same. He might have set them out of context a little bit. One might have come first. Whatever, right? But the story was the same. And the people's names were the same. And the women were the same. I laugh about that because my grandpa was a little out there when it came to women, right? Yeah, it makes me chuckle. I miss my grandpa Stupnik. He was a good man. But one thing he told me is, Justin, one day they're going to get control of the air, the water, and the food. And when that day happens, we're doomed. And guess what? We're there. And I know that's scary to hear. And people don't want to face the truth, and they'd rather turn the other cheek and avoid reality. But if we continue to do that, we will help contribute to the demise of this country. Me, I will be to blame for that. If we don't start speaking up, coming together, and resolving the issues that we have the power to resolve, which is all of them. There's 400 million of us, about 2,500 of them. And I'm not telling anybody, and I'm not trying to conspire, I'm not trying to form any violence whatsoever. But an army of 400,000 strong, you only need about 3% of them. Showing up and demanding change, oh, it'll happen. Oh, it will happen. I just love humanity, and I think we deserve better than them putting preservatives and all this GMOs and all this other shit inside our food and our children's food that are infants. I believe we deserve better than that, as they take our tax dollars for our entire life. We deserve better than them making us sick and banking off the medical industry. I'm sure some of you have had these similar thoughts, just like I have. Maybe not. Maybe I'm crazy. And if so, I will admit that I was wrong. But I believe we deserve better. And I'm not saying there's not opportunity in this country, because there is. But making us sick because of their greed and they don't want the bread to go bad in 2 weeks, that's sick. Make us sick so they can profit more on the food, so they can profit more in the medical industry. To me, that is sick. And not one United States citizen in this country should tolerate that. That's going in your child's mouth. I don't care if they're 3 months old. I don't care if they're 14 years old. That food is entering your children's mouth. And we just turn the other cheek. Unbelievable. Well, I love you all. I love humanity. Have a blessed day. Start loving your neighbor again. We need a lot more. I think I read a post the other day. If you could change one thing in the United States, what would it be? Unity. Patty says kindness. Do you know how far that goes? Miles. I heard love. I heard passion. I heard all these things, and they were all the right answers. And we are all in control of that. And through that, we can change the entire trajectory in this country. I love you all. Have a rockin' blessed day.